So, hello everyone. We are back with the next conceptual lecture series for your NABARD descriptive phase 2 examination. And in this session of today, right, we will discuss two more topics that we have discussed in the yesterday's session also. I think you have gone through that. So, in the rigorous training program for your phase 2, we'll be taking up two topics today. The first topic, as all of you can see in this screen, is related to the tariff. And if you're going through the newspapers and if you've gone through the yesterday's newspaper also, you might be knowing that the yesterday's newspaper, all the leading newspaper, it was flooded with the Trump administration's tariff, right, regime 2.0, you can say, because again the setup thing have changed, and right now the news is that the tariff what the Trump administration is imposing on the countries, it can go from 50% to your 500%, right? So I think you all have gone through the particular news, right, in the newspapers, and it's flooded with that news. If you can see, I have collected, see, in the Hindu, that again the news is related to this. Again, here the news is related to this is Times of India, India Today, Mint. Everything is talking about this, right? Hiked tariff that can go to from 50% to 500% wherever it can land as per the whims of the Trump administration. So, what is this all about, and why we are studying it, this for your NABARD examination is very important, because previous year also in the economic portion we have seen that they have ask the question that what is the impact of LPG reforms upon Indian agriculture. So on the same line, we will try to understand that what is the impact of this tariffs upon the Indian agriculture, because we are preparing for the exam of NABARD. It is impacting all over the world. It is impacting all over the sectors. But our main focus will be what is its impact upon the Indian agriculture. So I have given this infographics, a short infographics for a very quick revision once our detailed discussion is over, right? So you can go through this quick infographics after I share you this PDF in the Telegram channel, right? You can find the Telegram link in the description box. So let's come onto the aspect how they can ask you a question from this in NABARD phase 2 descriptive, right, about the tariff. If they don't ask also, it is very going to be very important topic for your interview. You should see, and not last but not least, you can use the points that we'll be discussing in any other form of answer essay or whatever question they ask related to India's agri sector and its development. You can use this points in those type of questions also. So how they can ask the question, that is the first question. So how you should prepare? The first thing is that from objective point of view, one marker question, you should be very clear with the tariff and non-tariff barrier classification. Tariff barriers and your non-tariff barrier classification. These two things are very important. Earlier also they have asked question from here, one marker question that is there. Now, since whenever the agriculture and the international scenario comes, the World Trade Organization, right? World Trade Organization, and with respect to World Trade Organization, agreement on agriculture. Agreement on agriculture is very important and its pillar. You should prepare thoroughly for your examination. Now, apart from this, we will see today the tariff, the Trump tariff and its implication. So, two, three things are important with respect to it, right? Two, three things are important with respect to this tariff. What is important that I will tell you, right? What is important that I will tell you today? The first thing is that what is this tariff all about, that you should know what is this tariff all about. Then you should know its implication, right, on two aspects. On the agri sector, sector specific, you should know, right, which sector is being impacted the most, and on the other side you should also know the overall how it is impacting the Indian agriculture. Overall how it is impacting the Indian agriculture. My pen is actually not working well, so it is not coming that clear. Okay, so this is one thing, and how or what India should do to, right, minimize the impact of it, right, upon its agriculture sector. So three things you should know. First, you should start with what is this tariff all about, what, why it is being imposed. The next is the sector specific impact, which sector it is impacting. The third thing you should know that overall Indian agriculture, how it is impacting and what we should do to mitigate, right, this effect of Trump tariffs ongoing issues, right? So, as all of you know that after the Russia-Ukraine war, all these things have started, right? All these things started because the US government was trying to curtail the wings of the Russia. So any government, right? Any government doing trade with the uh, Russian government were sanctioned. It was related to the crude oil, right, of the Russia that it was supplying to the different countries. So any country whosoever it is purchasing, any country whosoever it is purchasing the Russian oil, the US government would be imposing tariff on the trade whatever that country is doing with the US, right? So this is the scenario. This is the scenario in a nutshell. So earlier the thing was that Trump administration has imposed a 25% tariff. Then it was increased to 50%, and now the yesterday's news is that it can go to 500% also. All those governments which are on trade deal with the Russia in the field of oils, and if they are doing trade with the US also. If you have to sell your product to the US, and if you're doing trade with the Russia, a tariff will be imposed upon you, right? The 25%, 50%, it can go to now to 500%. Now, what you should know from examination point of view, the upcoming NABARD means, is that three things I told you. So we will fastly see all these things, that which are the sector that is getting impacted. So the first is marine product. As you know that India is major exporter of shrimp, fish byproducts to the US. And US is a major destination, and we are uh, boasting of this export, right? In a few days, I think if you are going through the different articles of the PIB, that India is one of the major exporter of the fishery products, right? If you talk about the agriculture sector, different products, the maximum value that we are getting from this is the marine fish products only. So the shrimp, fish pellets, or the fish byproducts, whatever you are sending to the US, that will be not tarified with 50% or whatever it can be in the coming days. So it is the first sector that you should know. They can ask you in interview or in the mains, that is being hit the most, that is the marine products. Then as you know that after marine, we are also boasting, India is also boast of the cotton related, right? Textile related industry that we have in our country, the cotton production, the cotton farmers, the small mills that is running in and around the country, right? The MSMEs, they will be impacting the most because it will impact the landing of the Indian cotton in the US also, because Indian textile are quite in demand in the US. So the first point you will remember, the big M, the next is C, that is cotton. Okay, that is being affected. In this way, you can justify your answer if they ask in the examination or in the interview which sectors are being hit. Then the third number that you should remember, because you know that the US, the population, the demographic is such that they are nuclear families, so they love the processed food, they purchase the processed food. It's not like the India. So whatever processed food that we are sending to the US, that is also a very big market for the India. So again, you know that the processed food product that we are sending from India to the countries like US and all, many small, like informal sectors, right, are involved with it. So if the processed food does not reaches out there, right, MCP, then it will be impacting the processed food and industry of our country also. This is the pillar number three that will be impacted. Biofuels, animal feedstock are also the commodities which are being exported to the US. Again, it will be affected because you know that we have enhanced our capacity in the animal feeds and the biofuels. So next letter is B, that you should remember the biofuels, right? Four number. Then five number, you should remember the organic. You know, again, India is doing a lot of things related to organic production. And US consumers, where they have a good purchasing power, right? They purchase the costly this organic products that is going from our country. So again, it will be impacting those farmers who are exporting their organic products to the countries like US. Then is dairy. As you know that India is again leading sector, right? This India's leading sector in agriculture is dairy. And we're expecting so many dairy related products. Again, it will be affecting. The next letter is D, that you will be remembering. The letter number six, right? That is very, very important. Now, apart from this, the agriculture startups and whatever things, MSMEs that are going on in the country, obviously they will be affected. So to revise the points, just have a fast look. First is M, that is marines. Next is C, that is cotton. Next is C, that is processed food product. P, that is processed food product. Then is your biofuels. Then is your organic products. Then is your agri startups. So these are 7 points that you can easily explain that what is being affected. Now, negative impact on the overall agriculture, as I was saying that this is sector specific points that you can mention. Now, overall agriculture, reduce competitiveness in US market, obviously, as the tariff will be there. So we will not be that competitive if we compare to the other countries where the tariff is not being imposed. So obviously, the consumers will be purchasing those products. They will not purchasing our product. So we will not be that competitive in the US market. This is the impact on the Indian agriculture. Next is export diversions and the market loss, right? We need to now divert the export to other countries and we will lose a good share of market in the US market. And the diplomatic uncertainty, because obviously you know that due to so many talks, the WTO negotiations going on, the negotiation going on with the Trump administration, there will be right diplomatic uncertainty under this situations, right, which will be impacting our agriculture. It will be impacting our agriculture, not directly, but indirectly, right? So that is there. Then downward pressure on the farm gate prices, because obviously, if the exporters are not getting the prices or it is not being sold out, obviously the farm prices, what are farm gate prices, whatever farmers are getting, that will be too less. Then is there higher compliance and the non-tariff barriers. We will see the sanitary and phytosanitary measures will be more strict for the Indian markets. So as you know that we do not have that robust market mechanisms like the European countries of sanitary and phytosanitary standards. Again, our products will get rejected, right? We have seen so many circumstances, so many instances like this. So higher compliance of this non-tariff barriers like sanitary, phytosanitary will come into play, and again, our agriculture will be entirely affected due to this. ठीक है, impact on the allied sector, all the, as we have discussed above. So this is how it will be impacting the overall right export of the agri products that we are doing to the US. Ultimately it will be impacting the small and marginal farmers, because you know that 86% of the farmers in our country are small and marginal. If they will not getting the right prices, the credit problem will come, the loan they will not be getting that whatever they are wanting. Exchange rate transmission risk, because you know that all the exports happens in the dollars. So again, there will be problem because Indian rupees will value will degrade due to this. And WTO and trade rules uncertainty will come into play, because you know that how much America, US is dominated in the WTO forum itself. Now, the third thing that you should prepare for your examination, very, very, very important, that how we can negate this Trump tariff, right? Trump tariff regime that is coming nowadays. So, first thing is that we should not be dependent entirely upon one country, right? We should not keep all our eggs in one basket. So trade and market diversification is must. The first point number A is trade and market diversification. Under this, you can write for in the examination, you can write for what? You can write for the points like reduced over dependence upon the US market. Okay? Fast track free trade agreements with the other countries like European Union, United Kingdom, Africa, Gulf countries, etc. This is point number one. Inside that, these are the two sub points that you can mention. The point number two is value addition and the competitive enhancement, right? We should do so that how we can compete in the in this regime of Trump, right? Tariffs. So we can what we can do shift from raw export to the value added export. Okay? We can do this so that at least if there is tariff, we will be getting higher prices for the processed products, improve competitiveness, right? With the better logistics, right? Better developing certain agri export corridors, etc. Next point is the institutional and financial support. Institutional and financial support, right? We should support our farmers in these hard times with some export guarantees, some export credits, right? To the exporters through this Exim Bank, NABARD, ECGC, whatever it may be. Then we can work on the price and income stabilization mechanisms also. We can work on the price and income stabilization measures by different schemes. This is third point. The fourth point, what Indian agriculture we can do to safeguard our Indian agriculture, that basic, right? Grassroots level organizations like FPO should be strengthened, because in this regime, what will happen? The small players, the FPOs, will get washed out. So we have to support them. We have to have that policies so that this FPOs, which are working at the grassroots level, they should not be washed out, but they should be resilient. They should adapt to the circumstances with the help of the government, and they can right, deliver their services for the small and the marginal farmers, the cooperative farmers that they are doing. Then standard upgradation, because this because we are a member of WTO, we have to follow that strict sanitary and phytosanitary norms. So in coming days, we have to be have standard like technological compliances for all these things. So these are the points you should remember. Then coming on to the next point, that is trade and diplomacy. On one other side, we will be working on the ground to making our agriculture robust. On the other side, we will be working on the diplomatic channels, that how we can, right, make US administration that it should not impose that high tariff on us. We should make diplomacy with the other countries which are still underdeveloped, so that we can sell our products over there, right, with our diplomatic channel. And last but not least, we should have long structural reforms in entire agriculture, right, related to bioenergy, food processing, right? As we know that the Indian agriculture is not that much developed, right, in structural forms. So this long-term reform should be there. So all this A, B, C, D, E, F, G point, you should remember that how we should navigate this overall effect of this Trump tariff upon the Indian agriculture. Lastly, you can conclude with some good conclusion so that our agriculture exports are sustainable. And entire thing I have tried to explain with this flowchart that you can have a look once the session is over. Now try to answer this question in context of 2025 US tariff. Right? Analyze the sectoral impact on Indian agriculture and critically evaluate whether tariff-based protection can coexist with long-term export competitiveness. See, tariff can be there in for any country. India can also impose tariff, but tariff should be in a short term to medium term. It cannot be a long term phenomena, because overall world is a global village, right? Everything is interconnected. For short term, you can be, right, you can be protective, you cannot be protectionist. There are two terms, protective and protectionist. You can be protective, you can protect your small and marginal farmer, but you cannot be protectionist, that you are hampering the trading opportunities of other countries by having some strict tougher laws and regimes that you should take care of. So try to attempt this question as per our discussion of this topic. Next topic is farmer producer organization. This is very important because of the vision of the government to form 10,000 FPOs. This is very, very, very important that you should know. Again, the infographic for you during the examination, you can fastly revise, right? This is for your convenience, and you can revise after a discussion on this. So first you should know that what is FPO, that what is a FPO, right? Farmer Producer Organization. Again, definition is important. Many of you know FPO, but you cannot define the what is FPO. So it is a collective farmer producer formed to improve the economic strength of the bargaining power and the market access of the farmer. So what is this objective? You should know, you should write like this only. The definition, then the what is objective, right, in the introduction form. Enhance farmers' income, reduce cost, eliminate intermediaries, and integrate farmer with market. Now, example, always you should, I have told you earlier also, always you should, right, supplement or complement your definition with the example. So these are the few examples, the Shadri farms, the Vanilco, right? You can remember any two and mention, right, in your answer to give a better, right, strength or weight to your answer. Now, next point is the formation of NCO. You know what is an FPO now? It is the formation of the FPO. The formation of FPO is like any group, like SHG we have studied in the earlier session. It is also same thing only. First step, like if you have gone through the management, right? Management, Tuckman's, right? Theory is there for the formation of the group, the forming, storming, norming, developing, and performing the formation of process of the FPOs. First is the forming, next is the storming, next is norming, and next is developing, right? And next is the performing. So first, what will be there? Mobilization of the farmers, small and marginal farmers with common crops. Then group formation, minimum 10 individual producers or two producer institutions, choice of legal, then in which, under which act they wants to get enrolled, under which act they wants to get enrolled. That is very, very, very important. Either you want to get under Companies Act, right? Companies Act, you want to get under the Cooperative Societies Act, right? Under which you want to get it registered. That is very important. Registration is very important. Then equity contribution among the partners, that is also important. Equity contribution, right? The next is business plan. What business you want to do, under which, like processing or for the raw materials or whatever you want to do, or the inputs you want to do. Then it's capacity building, and last is operationalization of the entire FPO. So for this, I have made a detailed video for this that how this FPO is formed, right? With this forming, storming, norming, just you click this image and you will be directed to the YouTube for a specific video upon this how FPO is formed. Okay. Now the next features of FPO. They can ask you what is FPO, how FPO is formed, and the features of FPO. The features of FPO is also simple. It's a legal entity, member-owned, democratic, voluntary and open, collective business, economic participation, economics of scale is there, and holistic support is there. So very general points, several understanding points. You have to remember at least 5-6 points for your upcoming NABARD mains examination. As I said, you under which act they are registered, that you should know. Mostly they are registered under Companies Act. Okay? It can be Cooperative Societies Act also, it can be trust also. Okay? This is the only feature why FPOs were formed. See, we have cooperatives on the one side, we have private sector on the one side. FPOs are actually the hybrid of the cooperatives and your the private sector. Why it is hybrid? Because it has the all the positive features of the cooperatives and all the positive features also of the companies of professionalism. That's why the FPOs were formed. Next, what are the government initiatives related to the FPOs? The first government initiative is formation of 10,000 FPOs scheme, the implementation by the Agriculture Ministry and the support of the institutional like SAFAC, NABARD. Equity grant is being given by the government. Equity grant is being given by the government through this 10,000 FPO scheme. You can see the equity grant of 15 lakh per FPO, 2,000 per farmer. So this is the objective point that can be asked. Management cost of 18 lakh per FPO over 3 years is being given. Credit guarantee of 2 crore is being given. Professional support through this cluster-based business organization CBBO is given for 5 years. License support and training support is being given by the government. So you can write how government is promoting the FPO if they ask. Now, what are the challenges? They can give you the challenges to the FPOs, but they are facing. So low managerial and professional capacity because it is formed by the farmers. Then weak governance, limited access to working capital, poor market linkages, inadequate infrastructure, low member participation. So these are the pointers and one liner. You can expand this because these are very general, nothing to explain in this. Then what can be the solution way forward? Professional management, stronger handhold, improved access, infrastructure development, policy convergence, naming the schemes, women participation, the convergence with the SHGs, all this you can mention in the solution and the way forward. Last but not least, you can supplement your answer that how NABARD is helping the FPO because you're giving examination for NABARD. So I have included all these points in the PDF over the PODF, over the grant, about the capacity building, value chain, how NABARD is helping the FPO. So you can pick some points from here to give a more weight to your answer so that it becomes innovative and you can fetch more marks. So these are the two topics of today. Next, again tomorrow we will come with two more new conceptual topics which have very high probability of being asked in your NABARD mains examination. So with this we'll end the program. This is our rigorous training program for your phase 2 going on. Rigorous training program. You can join with the link, and we are known for giving one of the highest number of results in NABARD, right? And list of toppers you can visit through this YouTube by clicking this link and you can see the toppers talk. So with this I will end the session. Bye bye. Take care.